Welcome to the Global Connection, a Tel Aviv University podcast. Journey with us as we discover how TAU's academic community and friends are engaging with and helping to shape this ever-changing world. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Global Connection. I'm your host, Dr. Anna Sajecki. And today I am thrilled to be giving a very warm welcome to both a veteran and upcoming Tel Aviv University exchange student. Noa Beit On is currently studying a bachelor's in biology at Tel Aviv University and recently returned from a semester abroad at the University of Sydney in Australia. And Sagi Yehudaie is currently completing a bachelor's degree in political science and East Asian studies and is preparing for a semester in Taiwan. So part of the reason you're both joining me here today is so everyone can learn a little bit more about exchange programs and the experience of going on exchange. And what is kind of exciting for Tel Aviv University is we actually have the largest cohort of students ever headed on exchange this fall. So welcome to you both. I'm really glad you could join me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We're very happy to be here.
Good. So I realize you're at different points in your exchange journey. Noah, you've gone. Sagi, you're about to go. But can you tell me what made you interested in going on exchange as part of your university experience?
Should I? Should you?
Either one.
Okay, I'll start then. I think for me, it was mostly just like I couldn't understand how people don't want to seize this opportunity. Like this exists and you can literally go like anywhere in the world almost. And I was just like, it's kind of stupid not to do it. Like you have a chance. You can go to I went to the furthest corner of the world basically, but you have a chance. Why not do it? And also because of COVID and everything, I didn't really get a chance to do the like post-army trip thingy.
Okay.
And yeah, that kind of was an opportunity to just like jump in, do everything, experience other cultures, meet people from literally everywhere in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Sagi.
Yes, for me personally, so I always knew that since I registered, that I will want to be in that program of exchange, but it come like up to my mind more clearly after I did a post-army trip in Southeast Asia for 6 months, and I knew I have something with Asia, that I really like that area and culture, and I know I want to do something with it, but I was not really sure. And between the first year to the second year of my degree, I after the exam finished, I went to a trip for 2 months in Thailand, South Korea, and Singapore. And during my stay in South Korea, so we had like a Shavuot dinner in Chabad House in Seoul. And then I met some exchange students like eating and like being there and like sharing their experience in studying in Seoul. And they were like students, not only Israeli students, but also like Jewish, like from France and other countries. And then I realized how cool is it like to experience to live in that city as a student. And they shared me like their local friends and like their daily routine and stuff. And then I said, okay, I'm coming back to the second year. And instead of like looking for a new place in Tel Aviv, which my contract is expired. So I said, I'm going all in and going to Galia and submit all the files when it will be released. And that's what I did.
Okay. So it was kind of like a whole new world opened up to you in terms of the opportunity and what it could be like. Noah, so you mentioned you didn't really get the trip after the IDF that so many people do.
Yeah.
So Sagi, it sounds like you've been able to travel a little bit more. Have you both traveled a fair bit in your life or not really?
I will say that I have, not gonna lie, but then funny enough, I was planning to do my post-army trip in Australia.
Okay.
So I had to work a lot before going there because it is an expensive place to travel. But then COVID happened and then I was like, oh no. So I started school, but then this opportunity came up and it all just kind of like fell into place.
Okay. And you've definitely traveled a fair
Yeah,
bit.
but personally, it's not only like the post-army trip for 6 months that I've been, but every chance that I get, with if I have money and time, I'm just going. So
Yeah.
even during the semester, I've been to like a weekend, like in the first day of the year, Sylvester. Yeah. So
Okay.
I've been to Rome for a weekend,
Okay.
and like 2 months ago, I just fly to Istanbul. I found some cheap tickets. I just like to any time I have, so I'm just going.
That's the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So Noah, it sounds like you've been invested in going to Australia
Yeah.
for a little while.
Yeah.
So why Australia out of anywhere in the world?
I okay, so in my mind, Australia just seemed like this sort of like paradise. I don't know. I've never met anyone. I met one person from Australia ever, and I always kind of thought because it's so remote and it's so like and the weather's nice and there's beaches and like it kind of has it all in some way. And I think that like when I got there, I had all these expectations, and I was like, no way, it's gonna be like as good as I thought it was gonna be. But then it actually was.
Okay.
And I maybe seen like not even a quarter of it because it's massive. It's like the size of Europe, but there's so much to see, so much to see. Even like not by traveling, but by living in Sydney and getting to do this exchange and actually experiencing what it's like to be um, kind of like a citizen. Um, I kind of got to see the whole culture and everything that's going on there. So it was just like
Okay.
insane.
Okay. So it met your expectations.
Yeah,
You kind of had.
completely.
Okay. Amazing. And I feel like Sagi, you're partly doing East Asian studies. You have like a special. There's something about that region for you, isn't there? What is it about East Asia that you find so fascinating?
For me, mainly is I think I was very amazed by the people and the culture. When I used to travel in some Asian countries, so I didn't realize how welcoming the people there. And I've been to like some countries in Europe and US,
Hmm.
and I had some experiences like while staying in Vietnam, or that I arrived to like very distinct villages in the north, and I was just looking for something to grab to eat around midnight with my friends, and I found myself eating dinner with a Vietnamese family which I don't know,
Okay.
and like some kind of these experiences that I understood how fascinating. And during the studies, so I got exposed to the culture and the languages, the all the Buddhism, Hinduism, which is very, very fascinating. And they have a very long history, especially in China and India. So I think that kind of things is
Okay. Okay. So it's the people, it's learning about the religions,
yes.
and for you, it's really the environment.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so Sagi, you chose Taiwan specifically, which is yeah. Well, what I find fascinating too, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I read that you've also worked with the Israel Economic and Commercial Mission, correct? So you were
Yes.
in Hong Kong and Macau, or you were working with those areas.
So right now I'm doing an internship through the university
Okay.
in the Ministry of Economy, specifically in the commercial office of Hong Kong and Macau, but also with the Chinese desk.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Have you been able to travel there too, or no?
I've been to
It's
Hong Kong before,
okay.
like for a few hours doing transit, but not. It's not like because of what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. So for me, when I read that, I was like, oh, it's really interesting that you're deciding on Taiwan. So yeah. So talk a little bit about why
Okay.
Taiwan.
So why Taiwan? So for me, it's very natural to choose Taiwan because I'm studying Chinese in my East Asian studies. So it was for me, besides the experience of studying abroad and that that fascinating experience and fun, I wanted to do something valuable for me. So it's either was for me China or Taiwan, and I did submit for both of them, and eventually I decided that I liked Taiwan better.
Okay.
And I have to say that I know in Australia big Chinese community as
There
well.
is, there is.
And I also requested Melbourne,
Mhm.
Okay.
Monash University.
Monash, yeah.
Monash, yeah.
Yeah.
Melbourne's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Melbourne will be waiting for you next
Yeah.
time, I'm sure. Definitely. So have you been doing a lot of prep to get ready for?
So to be honest, I do read about things in Taiwan and a bit doing the research, but I'm trying to avoid as much as I can because I want to come like blindfolded. I want to come with no bias about anything. But there's one thing that keeps following me each time I'm telling people that I'm going to move to Taiwan, Taipei. So usually the Israelis that's been there, they tell me one thing. They're not telling me about how beautiful is the country and how delicious is the food. They keep telling me that the people is very amazing and they are the nicest people they ever met.
Okay.
So that's thing. Every time I hear it, I'm
So it's a bit comforting and a little bit exciting, but beyond that, you're trying not to have
Yeah.
too many expectations, and you'll just sort of jump in and
Nice,
go with
yeah.
it. What about you, Noah? Did you have many expectations going in?
So I did. I was mostly a little stressed, not gonna lie, because I was just like going alone, not knowing anybody. First time I'm doing something in this perspective. Like I've been abroad for a brief periods of time, but never this long. And it's also so far away. Like nobody can. I mean, my parents came to visit like once, but it was like a big deal. It's not like Europe when you can just like hop on a plane, go home for a weekend, come back.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I was a bit stressed. I tried looking up things, tried to find like maybe some Israeli connections that I can have there in case of like not even like emergencies or like I need a place to crash or stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't do that much research also because it was finals before like maybe 2 days before I
Okay.
flew. So
Okay.
I was like doing this and then I have to pack and like my head
Okay.
was everywhere.
Okay. So a bit anxious, but at the same time, you're like, I only have
Yes.
so much time. I have to pack
Yep,
and I
yep,
have
yep,
to
yep.
go. And
Yep. Let's focus
Okay.
like one thing at a time.
So can you talk about your experiences in Sydney at the University of Sydney? Is there anything particularly memorable that you'd like to share?
Yeah, of course. First of all, the university itself was beautiful, like absolutely stunning. It looked like Hogwarts. Like, I was amazed. Um, and I just got there, and they had this like big student welcome festival thing, and there were so many people and like activities and like ways you can kind of like mingle and talk to other exchange students or stuff like that. We had like a whole welcoming event just for exchange students, which was really nice. And I actually met like my first friend right there because I was obviously late. And then I sat in the back row, and then there was another guy that was late, and then we just got to talk, and now we're like friends for life.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
stuff like that. But the university itself was, I would say a lot different from here, just by the way the teaching methods are a bit different.
Okay.
And I guess it depends on what you actually study, but I did feel like it was very different from here. Like it was very assignment focused rather than like exams. So I got to actually like write a lot of papers and work with people and group projects and stuff like that. So a very nice like inclusive experience, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Has it broadened your perspective then a little bit about?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I have like a completely different approach, I think, to how I actually need to study here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it actually helped you in your studies
Yep.
in general to
Yep.
understand how to go about it.
100%. Yes.
Okay. And so you mentioned right off the bat you met some people. So do you kind of feel like you have friends from around the world now?
I do. And also like two of them are coming to visit this weekend.
Very cool.
Yes, but
Okay.
they are from all over. Like I've met really good friends from France, from South Africa, from the US, like all over the place. I even met some people from Mauritius, which I didn't know was a thing.
Oh, I didn't know either.
Yeah. Apparently
yeah.
it's like a French colony somewhere in like the Africa region, but like who knew? But
Okay. Do you have plans to visit there eventually?
oh, eventually for sure.
Okay.
I just need enough money to do my world tour.
Right,
And
right.
visit everyone.
Right. That's the next step is
Yep.
raising the funds for that, for sure. So I have to ask because Tel Aviv has a pretty strong beach culture.
Uh-huh.
Sydney does as well. So is one better than the other?
Ooh, no shade on the Sydney, the Sydney people, but I think our beaches are so much better.
Ah,
I mean,
okay.
not by looks. I will admit it's like one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. But it is like the ocean and not the Mediterranean. So the water itself are actually like super harsh and cold, and all these animals that can kill you are kind of like a bit scary.
Hanging out in the water. Okay.
Yeah. So the actual beach experience here, I think, is much better. Like, there's no competition. Also, it's super far from like the city center, so it took me like an hour to get there.
Okay. So you talked about the cultural differences a little bit in terms of the teaching.
Yeah.
Did you feel like there were any especially surprising cultural differences in day-to-day life too that you, while you were
Yeah.
there, you're like, oh, whether it be
That's what
Vegemite,
they do.
or,
Yeah, Vegemite. It's actually quite nice, Vegemite. I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I was expecting, because I kept hearing they're like Australians are the nicest people on the planet, and that was actually the case. I think just their whole way of living is so much more laid back than it is here. They have nothing to worry about. They get up, they work like a few hours a day, and then they go to the beach and chill for the rest of their time. Like, they just want to chill, basically.
Okay.
And I think it took me a while to like get used to that, because the pace of the city is like a lot slower, especially from Tel Aviv, which just like keeps going. But in terms of like actual cultural differences, I think that's the main thing, because it is like Western culture, and there are a lot of similarities, especially within the big cities.
Okay. Great. Sagi, I know you don't have too many expectations going into Taiwan. I mean, you talked about how great you've heard the people are. But I feel like the cultural differences between Australia and Israel might be a little bit smaller than between Taiwan and Israel. So are you anticipating a little bit of culture shock or no?
So I think I will not be shocked just because I've been to many Asian countries.
Okay.
But again, it's a very new experience to me, Taiwan, because I've never been there. But I don't think I'll be culturally shocked. The first time when I arrived to Asia in 2019, so I remember that I arrived to Bangkok,
Okay.
and the first thing I saw after getting from the airport was the Khao San Road, and I got completely shocked out of it. It took me a few days, and then I realized the magic of Asia.
Okay.
And I do have some expectations. I'm looking forward to meet a lot of locals. I know that exchange students, particularly like the dorms of the students, are like international communities and people from all over the world, which is cool. But I'm really looking forward to meet the locals, to improve my language skills, and to really get to know the secret places in town.
Okay. The secret places in town, right? That's always the moment when you're like, I'm not
have
just
arrived.
a tourist. I've arrived.
Yeah.
I know the dive bar. I know the
Yeah.
the really cool spots that the
Yeah.
locals know.
I'm kind of like dreaming of waking up in the morning, have my like neighborhood coffee that I like, that place, and like they know me already. So I guess, good
Yeah.
morning.
Have a little conversation in
regular
the morning.
place.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
like, kind of this.
Okay. Have you signed up for courses yet? Do you know what you'll be taking?
Not yet. It
Okay.
will be open in the 1st of August.
Okay. Will they be sort of a continuation of political science and East Asian studies?
Y-
Do you think? Do you? Yeah. So sort of around.
So yeah, I'm going to study about Chinese literature, which I'm already studying Chinese literature here, but I'm going to expand it over there. There are not many courses in Taiwan that is taught in English because they're mainly taught in Chinese. So I
Okay.
don't have various of options, but a little bit of Chinese literature, Chinese language, and from social science also I'll take like 2 courses.
Okay. How is your Chinese right now?
So I don't. It's the big question because I think I am able to read and write like okay, kind of like 2nd grade children, like kid. But
Yeah.
when it comes to speaking and listening, it's much harder for me because I'm not really practicing the language, and the Chinese people, they speak very quick, very fast. Like when people they come to do Aliyah to Israel, and we speak Hebrew very fast. So
Sure.
yeah,
It happens anywhere when you go to a
yeah.
new country with a new
I'm
language,
just
right?
I heard that Taipei is that they are very familiar with English.
Okay.
So I'm hope that I will not escape to English too much because
Okay.
I really want to face it.
Okay. Will you try to memorize a few phrases before you go? So you
I
can-
already know some few phrases, and doing my internship with Hong Kong and Macau, the commercials. So some delegations from Hong Kong, China, they come to Israel for some conferences.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity to use some phrases and speak a little bit of Chinese.
Okay. Do you know I need help in
Yeah. 我需要帮你可以帮我 is can you help me? 你可以帮我
Okay. I feel like that would be a good one. I'm sure you know, but I do not speak Mandarin or Chinese, so I will trust you that you got it correct. Definitely.
You could basically say anything right now, and we'll be like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
great.
I totally believe.
Wait.
Yeah. So both of you, what would you say are some of the key benefits related to going on exchange?
I think for me it was just mostly just like from a self journey kind of perspective. It really just kind of gives you that leveling up that is necessary in life. Like right now I can feel like, okay, I've done this thing, I can do anything. Like I got this. So I went to a new place completely alone, met friends, did okay in school, did everything that I had to do. And now I'm like, okay, I'm not afraid to like take chances or seize opportunities that are like in my way because of my experiences. I
Okay.
think that was the main thing for me.
So a whole new level of confidence and
Yeah.
new opportunities have
Yep,
opened
yep.
up or options.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you agree with that too?
Yeah, totally agree. And I also want to say she mentioned before that the teaching method is much different, and I'm looking forward to see how they teach in
Okay.
Asian university, like compared to Israel. And I know it's very different, like the way we study here to e- e- every part of the world. So I'm looking forward to see if it will be much more difficult, or it will be like about the same. So that's.
Okay. You'll have to report back to me. I'll be checking up. I'll be like, okay, tell me. How have you found it? So the overall benefit really is this more global awareness. Are there specific skills that you think you get from going on exchange? Even both of you talked a little bit about knowing how different universities operate and that making you a better student. Other skills you think you gain from going on exchange?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of I would say I think the main thing is probably social. It just gives you kind of like it's again the confidence thing, but like it kind of shows you that you can connect to people anywhere, I would say. And also I mean, it's impressive. Come on, I put it on the resume that I went to exchange, and then people are like, "Wow, where
Your
did you go?"
LinkedIn.
Blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah, my LinkedIn. But yeah, it's kind of like a step up because now, like, I think when you apply for jobs or for I don't know master's degree or something, people look at it and they can see that okay, this is a person that can um, connect with people, operate in foreign environments,
Like adapt to a new
adapt,
environment.
exactly.
It kind of feels like in today's age, like there's so much importance on being a global citizen, right? Because people are coming and going from all around the world. And so to be able
Yeah.
to operate in different environments and connect to different people. So with both of you, with that in mind, would you say you're a global citizen?
I am now for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. I think my friend list in Facebook, Instagram is full of people from all over the world. And I have to say one more thing. I think it's also help you to create self confidence, and I mean, you have to deal with everything by yourself. If you have, I know, like if I live in Israel and I do have the support of my family, like, are you everything is okay with you? Did you eat anything? Did you arrive home? Like, there's someone is taking care of you, and when you get to that distance of they still care about you, but they are not really there. So
There is only so much they
yeah.
can do. Yeah.
So you have to, I don't know, if you don't want to spend money of like buying food outside every day, like takeaways and stuff, so you have to learn how to cook if you have that chance in the dormitory, and you have to make your own laundry if you still live with your parents.
Okay.
So I think this kind of independence sense,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and one more thing is, I think in our generation, I feel especially that people are more connected to the social media like TikTok, Instagram, and they're a bit more like social distancing from each other, especially after COVID. So I feel like it helps you, again, like what she said, to be more social.
Okay.
And it's very necessary nowadays.
Right. So it kind of not forces you, but it's an opportunity to jump back into meeting new people and making friends and being social and doing what we did great in 2019.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So do you have any, my final question for you is any advice you would have for students out there at TAU or anywhere around the world potentially who are thinking of going on exchange? Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. I would say whatever like little concerns you have about like whether I should take this opportunity or not, because there's a lot of things that might get in your way, whether it's like, I don't know, I can like start working here, I can really start to build up my career or stuff like that. It can wait. Just go. Like it'll be fine. The progress and the everything you gain from it is just like irreplaceable. And also come with an open mind for everything.
Yeah, open mind is what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to say. So open mind. So if you really go for that experience, I think it really opens your mind, because sometimes you really get used to your routine life, and most of the students here, if they come by train or live here, they have the same daily life, and then it breaks something that they're not used to it. Like I'll give you like one example, it's very major. I know many people, they used to eat the same dish or the same type of food, and just by moving to a different place, they need to get used to the new habits. Like the schedule is different, they eating different kind of things.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a very small example, but it's a good one, because it's the whole, like, all your life is changing when you're moving to a different place.
So just remember to roll with it and
Roll
be
with it.
adaptable,
Yeah.
and you'll have fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Noah. Thank you, Sagi, for being here. And
Thank you.
good luck with your future travels, wherever to Taiwan or wherever they may
Amen.
take you.
Amen.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank